Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I have to admit that this was inspired by my son. During the past weekend, he was basically telling me about wanting to start his own gaming channel. And I was like, you've been speaking about this the whole year. What is it about? Like literally the whole year he's been going on and on about wanting a YouTube channel. And he's like, no, I'm just gonna review games, play games, popular games that everyone my age is into. I'm gonna upload them on YouTube and then I'm gonna have a conversation with other gamers. And I mean, I was very reluctant. I still am because I don't want this YouTube channel of his to get in the way of school. Then this weekend, obviously, he comes with a different approach. He's like to me, Mom, why don't you start your own YouTube channel? And I'm like, why? He's like, well, you like doing a lot of fun stuff for like ladies. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, you always putting on makeup and doing your hair and you dye your own wigs. You always cooking, you always working out. So why don't you do a YouTube channel where you're sharing everything you do with everyone? And I'm like, no, I already do that on Instagram. Anyway, he really like forced me to do this. So this is my official YouTube channel. But in addition to that, last night I received an email from one of the women who she's basically a financial literacy guru. And she has this weekly or monthly emailing list where she sends emails of like various financial issues and whatever the case is. And she was talking about how a few months ago she just started her YouTube channel. She was like, okay, this is what I have. I have a phone, I have knowledge, I have information I want to share with people, and I just want to take things to the next level. And she literally just started. And I was like, why don't I do that? Because I was very worried about not having a ring light, not having a tripod for my phone, not having sound like a microphone, not having I just basically thought of every excuse there was in the book. So this is really a culmination of nerves put together, but also shout out to my son for forcing me to do this, and shout out to the email I received yesterday, which out of the blue literally just said there will never be a perfect time. Your spirit is aligned right now. The universe is, aligned right now, and it is time for you to do your YouTube channel. So this is me. Welcome to the Sister-in-Law YouTube channel. I'm your host, Tebello Motswane. I'll be covering various legal topics pertaining to child maintenance, child custody, marriage contracts, customary marriages, civil marriages, civil unions, a little bit of insurance law, a little bit of property law, a lot of divorce, a lot of wills, and the importance of having a will. And I'll be doing some estate planning, and hopefully, once I am no longer shy, I will be doing interviews with women who I look up to, but also women who have literally lived a lot of the legal experiences or a lot of the legal knowledge that I'm going to share with you. So in order to like marry the the theory aspect to practicality, I'm really gonna go out there looking for women who've been divorced, women who are planning on getting married, women who have been in child maintenance battles, women who've had their insurance claims refused. Basically, women who can tie in every theory aspect I've shared with you and make it come to life. That is the projection and the vision I have for this channel. Today, particularly, I would like to speak on a topic which I just discussed on a community radio about an hour ago, which relates to spousal maintenance. If you've been following my pages, you'll see that I do a lot of child maintenance, and I've never covered spousal maintenance. But I had the ladies who were interviewing me this morning ask me particularly about spousal maintenance and how that right comes about. So I'd like to share a few things with you First things first, you need to know that spousal maintenance, there is no automatic right. So unlike child maintenance, where parents are obliged to contribute towards the child's financial needs, there is no automatic right to spousal maintenance. That means that the parties can either agree. I'm going to use husband and wife, obviously not excluding any particular group. And also, if I say husband earning more than the woman, I'm literally just doing it because it's what comes to my mind at the time. But we know that nowadays women earn more than men. Yes, yes, yes. So yes, I'm going to say if the woman is the breadwinner, in this scenario, and the parties are going through a divorce, there is no automatic right for the wife to maintain the what will now be ex-husband after the divorce. The parties can, however, agree in a settlement agreement that they want to maintain the other. So the wife can say, okay, listen, we've been married for 20 years and I really feel that during the past 15 years you didn't have a job or you had to cut down or whatever the reason is. I'm going to now maintain you for a period of, say, a year until you are back on your feet. Then the parties can agree that every month I will give you a 20,000 rand stipend or maintenance, and this will keep you going until such point as you find a job or you get remarried. I have to stress again, it's not an automatic right. If there is no settlement agreement between the parties, i.e., settlement agreement is usually done before the divorce process happens in court. And what you can do once you've agreed on the terms of settlement is make that settlement an order of court, thus making it enforceable in a court of law. If there has been no settlement agreement and it gets to the point where the parties are in court, then the court, at its own discretion, can award maintenance to a party who claims it. So the husband's attorney or the husband would have had to claim it himself. It will make an application basically, which will run concurrent to the divorce proceedings, claiming spousal maintenance. He must obviously furnish reasons because he who claims must prove why they're entitled to spousal maintenance. He must furnish reasons why he should be maintained, and the court will obviously look at a few things. They will start by looking at the prospective means and financial needs of each party. They will also look at the obligations. So what is the wife earning versus what is the husband earning? In this scenario, I've already painted that the wife is earning more than the husband. If she's a millionaire and obviously the husband is bringing in 10,000 rand, and the reason why his life was, cushioned or comfortable was because of this woman's legacy or empire or whatever she's doing, then the party is going to take that into consideration and say, okay, well, your husband earned 10,000 rand for the last 15 years of your marriage. He was only contributing towards electricity. When he now moves out of this house or as a result of the divorce, obviously his quality of life is going to change because he will now only have a 10,000 rand income to rely on. Why don't you sub him because you have the financial means to do so? Remember, a lot of this also depends on the marriage contract between the parties, which will obviously be discussed in a different video, in a different obviously post, excuse me. But some of it may depend on the matrimonial property regime that the parties are married under. Over and above the financial means of each party, the court is going to look at each person's obligations. So if the woman is the one who's paying for school fees and she's got life policies and she's paying for the mortgage, she's paying for all the cars and paying for the holidays, then the court is going to take her income in relation to her expenses to get to that calculation. The court will also take the age of the parties into consideration. That means that if you are currently going through a divorce and both of you are 50 or 55, I want to say 50, then the court is going to say, okay, it is going to be very difficult for the husband to secure a job because he is approaching, say the husband is 53. He's obviously approaching pension in the next 5 to 7 years. So the prospects of him getting a good paying job between the divorce and when he'll go on pension are obviously very slim compared to if the husband were 32 years old. So the court is going to take the age of the parties into consideration. Also, obviously figuring that if the parties are 52, the wife is about to go on pension herself. So what will her means be in the long run? Duration of the marriage, very important. I can't imagine me having to support a husband I've been married to for 6 months and then he claims spousal maintenance. He is not yet accustomed to some of the finer things in life. But if, for example, we were married for 30 years and I really spent the bulk of it, running around and being the breadwinner literally, then obviously it's more complex and there is a duty of support to a certain extent, because this is the life that we have become accustomed to and it's the life that we were living when we were married. So obviously that taking the duration of marriage into consideration is a factor that the court will definitely look at. Then the court will also look at your standard of living. Once again, we can't deny that there's a difference between someone staying in Sandhurst, for example, and obviously someone staying in, I'll say Midrand, but yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that the standard of living will differ from couple to couple. There are couples who are living at large and they're on holiday every 2 to 3 months, and there are couples who are literally living humble lives and live hand to mouth. So the court is going to look at that. And then they will also look at contribution of breakdown of the marriage. So if you are the breadwinner woman who is supposed to then, who your husband is now claiming maintenance from you, he can then say, you know what, in the past 2 years, she's been having affairs, she's fallen pregnant by another man, she is, there's been a lot of adultery in play, she's an adulteress, she is always going on business trips, but I found out that she was actually going with men to these business trips, she's dating someone younger, whatever the case is. If you contributed towards the breakdown of the marriage, then the chances of the court awarding your husband spousal maintenance are slightly higher, because obviously no good deed goes unpunished. And then the spousal maintenance, you're obliged to pay it until your ex remarries or until your ex dies. Ladies, I mean, really, that might be slightly tempting, but please make sure that he does die from natural causes so that you're not found guilty of doing anything that would have ensured that you don't have to pay spousal maintenance. So yes, if you have any queries, you can obviously comment below. I would highly appreciate that. You can also find me on social media. Social media pages for Facebook is Sister-in-Law SA, and on Twitter and Instagram is @sister_in_law_. So basically sister-in-law, but with an underscore under each word. And then you can also send me an email, advice, that's ADVICE, @sisterinlaw, one word, .co.za. I will answer your queries there. Otherwise, I really encourage you to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can be ahead of all your legal affairs. Bye.